nice thing about hyper is what you're doing is you're basically taking the nunchucks and redirecting it in like a fast motion. Hyper style, when you really get into hyper style, the wonderful thing about it is that it feels like you're playing a drum. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. You can almost hear that rhythm when you're playing it. So let's get into your first hyper movement, okay? We're going to take our right hand, we're going to hold it in a front grip, like so, and we're going to spin it about waist level or so, and we're going to go counterclockwise, like this. Our left hand is going to hold a palm up, and we're going to try to receive it, like this. So we're going to do it again. Now, you see where I'm actually grabbing it? It's right here. I can also grab it more in the center, but don't grab it out here because the farther out you go with the nunchuck, the more damage it's going to do. I mean, think about it too. If you think about the rotation, like if you're catching it right here, it's only spinning about this far. But if you're catching it out here, it's spinning this far. So it has more momentum and more space to actually hit your hand and really do some damage, especially if you're using heavy nunchucks or fire nunchucks. So what I want you to do, spin it counterclockwise, and just like let it land on your hand like this. If you're using heavy chucks, what I also want you to practice, or fire nunchucks, what I want you to practice is, as soon as your hand is about 12 o'clock, I want you to give it a little bit of a lift and then a downward. So lift and down. Watch my right hand. Lift, down. Lift, down. The reason why we're doing that is to pad it. We want to kind of release, so it's not, like if we're spinning here, all the momentum's to the outside, but if we give it that little lift and downward pull, do you see how it like releases all that pressure that would hit us in the hand? Like that? That means we can take an extremely heavy chuck, spin it really fast, and then on that last one we can redirect it without really doing any like harm to our hand at all. If you're just going like this, and you hit your hand, that could really hurt, especially after about 3 or 4 of those, let me tell you. And with hyper, of course, we're going to be doing a whole ton of redirects. So, you know all the rules now. You know that you should hit here and here, never hit out here. And when you hit it, we're going to redirect it like this. So, try it again, counterclockwise. Once it's about 9 o'clock, we're going to hit it in our hands like so. I usually use my fingers. You can also drop it in your palms. Either is fine. And then we're going to push it up the opposite direction, like that. Now let's go in the opposite direction, of course. We're going to do the same thing at 9 o'clock, where our hand's going to come up and slap it back, like that. Once it's going down, we're going to slap it up, and slap it down. Up, down. And then switch your hands, of course, too. Up, down, up, down. So, both directions, both sides. You can either do a couple rotations, you can do random rotations where you just do it when you feel like it. You can do one. But just get this feeling down. Right now. If your hand starts to hurt, pat it like this. Pat. See how I'm just like floating it a little bit? My hand kind of softens it every time by actually following a little bit of the rotation. What I mean by patting, by the way, you probably saw me do it the whole time, but what I mean by patting is my right hand actually kind of moves a little bit with the turn, and that causes a lot of that sharp spin to like dissipate. So when it lands in your hand, it doesn't absorb it. All right, let's just do it like one bounce a piece now. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now. You know what I say about movement, right? This is boring. Ugh. Okay, you gotta put some energy into it. Even if you just use these two, start moving your hand around now and seeing if you can bounce it in different spots. Bend your knees, stand up, you know? See if you can turn with it. Remember the figure 8 wrist drills? Or, I'm sorry, remember the figure 8s? As we're going this direction, we just kind of do a figure 8, or at least the slash of it to come over. So, slash, and we're back. Slash, and we're back. Alright, our 4-hit combo, we got 2 of the moves now. So here we're going to do it again. 1, 2, the third one hits back up again. The fourth one I call a tricep bounce. You're going to hold out your arm like this, Okay? Think of it like you're using the back end of a table, and it's going to bounce right under here. It's going to hit this soft spot. Do not hit your elbow or you're going to hurt yourself. Because this is all bone, and this is, well, it's not all bone. It's kind of soft. Soft and squishy, just the way we like it. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3. Be sure if you need to pad it. See how it kind of just like glides there like that? I'm not going like this. I mean, you can if you want to, but you can only do so many of them. And my whole goal is to do a whole lot of hyper when I'm doing this. So now we'll go 1, 2, 3. First start with a pad, like that. 1, 2, 3, and just kind of pat it really softly. 1, 2, 3, drop. 1, 2, 3, drop. 1, 2, 3, drop. This is cool too, and practice this for a while. Oops. Yeah, I'm way overdoing it, right? Drop. 1, 2, 3, drop. 1, 2, 3, drop. What makes it more interesting though is your body gets into it. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, drop. Okay? And this time the drop, what we're going to do is our elbow's going to follow through, and it's almost like we're going to slash right through the nunchuck. Huge difference, right? Such a small boom. Or you can go 1, 2, 3, drop, clutch. See? 1, 2, 3, drop, clutch. Boom, boom. You just add a few extra. This will stop, you know, just that stop will give you a breather and them a breather. 1, 2, 3, drop, clutch. So I want you to practice with that. Practice with just hitting it twice and redirecting it. And practice adding that extra elbow. And then I'm going to show you one more bounce pattern, okay? So practice it with both hands, of course. 1, 2, 3, drop. 1, 2, 3, drop. 1, 2, 3, drop. So you can do both sides. When do you do this? Remember, we're doing figure 8 wrist rolls. I just wanted to make sure you get this right. Shoom, shoom. We're doing all different kinds of figure 8 wrist rolls. As soon as we're facing forward, where we would just normally do rips, now we can also add this.